Welcome back, my night creatures, to Nikki Draven's channel. Today's video is going to be a little different from what I usually share here. It's about something I've been reflecting on quite a lot recently, and I can't wait to dive into it with you. But before we get there, let me tell you a bit about this portrait and the gouache paints I chose to bring it to life. As my followers already know, these Holbein Gouache paints are the newest addition to the Draven household. I've already had the pleasure of testing them out properly on a spiral illustration in my previous video, and it definitely wasn't disappointing. But as many of you know, my true love will always be portraits. Still, I have to admit, it was a bit annoying to squeeze the paint out of the tubes so sparingly. So I quickly got myself some hair-tight palettes. Now I just love scooping out the amount I need with a palette knife and mixing it on my Stay Wet palette. This set didn't include a light fast violet, and since its color I use a lot, I ended up mixing my own using magenta and ultramarine blue. Unfortunately, I had to make some choices, so the two neon colors went into a separate palette, but I might add more convenience mixes there in the future. As for the light green, I was really skeptical at first. Greens and I have always had kind of a complicated relationship, but as I noticed while painting Spyro, having a ready-made mix for the grass turned out to be really convenient. And strange but true, today's portrait is actually based on that very green. I also bought a sepia separately for mixing, and I'm very tempted to create two more convenience mixes, one of a desaturated violet and another of a sort of Payne's grey, since I use those shades a lot when painting black hair. I'm absolutely in love with neon shades, even though they're not light fast, but I thought it would be wiser to store them here, since I mostly use them as accents and don't reach for them as often as I do with the classic colors. Using these palettes really helps me to manage my fear of wasting paint. I honestly have a bit of a problem with squeezing the tube and watching it deflate. This way, not only I can see the color I want right away, but I also get less of that wasteful feeling, since the paint stays moist and ready to use. And here we are with the drawing. I'm using handmade caddy paper, which is quite popular among watercolor artists. Well, I've tried it several times, but honestly, I just don't like it. Still, I'm very mindful about waste, so I wanted to give it a try with gouache, and oh my god. You may have already seen it in action in some of my shorts or on TikTok if you follow me there, since I did a short series of monochromatic gouache portraits. It does have a bit of a texture, but for me that's not a problem at all. For the background, I decided to go with acrylic gouache, just to avoid the paint from reactivating while I worked. To be honest, I don't use them that much. The feeling of waste with these is even stronger, since once they dry, they're basically gone. And that really bothers me. But you know what the real waste is? Not using them at all. Take note of that, Nikki. Starting to paint this subject's face was utterly nerve-wracking. I'm more confident with portraits in watercolors, but gouache is a whole different world and I basically had to start from scratch. On top of that, these past few days have been emotionally intense. I told myself, come on, let's paint. It will help you relax and process things better. Yeah, right. Total disaster. I didn't know where to put the paint. It was just fumbling around, and I still haven't fully grasped how it will dry. It was one of the few times, maybe the first, where I genuinely felt like biting the paper and tearing it to pieces. Apparently, when I'm emotionally fired up, it's better not to start painting with techniques I don't know well. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes, but usually I embrace learning new things with pleasure, and it doesn't really bother me if I don't paint like Caravaggio on the first try.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah, but I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these shit I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
And no matter how much I kept going, that feeling just didn't get any better. But it wasn't just about the painting. So I grabbed my beach bag and practically flew to my car, heading to the beach, less than 20 minutes from home. And honestly, it was exactly what I needed. Let's take a few moments together to just breathe, relax, and enjoy the calm of the sea. I can't even explain how life-changing it was to just make the decision to get in the car by myself, take a break, go for a swim, and walk along the shore to ground myself and release all that built up energy in my stomach and head. For some, it might seem trivial, but for me, it was a real battle. For over 2 years, I struggled to leave the house, to feel safe. Every outing was a fight with fear. Every time friends invited me out, I had to face that nagging little monster in my head. And when I did manage to step outside, it was stressful and anxiety inducing. So, taking that impulsive step, driving alone and just being on the beach completely shocked me. I hadn't done it in over a year, and even then, it was tense and far from easy. And I wouldn't have done it while feeling so nervous. But here's the truth. I didn't motivate myself with cliches like, believe in yourself, you can do it. No, fuck that shit. Do you know what actually got through it? I just got fed up. Literally fed up with living under that internal judge. The one that keeps you frozen and afraid under the guise of protection. Of course, it was gradual. I had my small victories, but I was far from going to the beach alone among strangers. Somehow, though, I finally saw the mechanism. It clicked when I'd had enough and stopped caring about how I appeared or what impression I was giving. And this brings us to today's topic. There's been a trend for a year now affecting almost every creator, and honestly, I don't like it one bit. It's this race for recognition. Through social media, as we're doing right now, we're slowly letting ourselves be killed. We're selling our souls. How many of you, like me, have felt dimmed over the past few years, feeling everything is flat, struggling to find anything that truly satisfies you, even in hobbies, in painting? It almost feels like a mild depression, yet you keep running on that hamster wheel chasing results. Have you ever looked at kids recently and thought, I want what they have when things were simple? And this, guys, leads us to the topic I'll dive into in my next video. I realized something. Over the years, I gave up so many little things I loved, just because I thought they weren't going to pay the bills. When I saw people getting back into coding websites from scratch, it hit me with a wave of nostalgia. It brought me back to my teenage years when I used to make tons of them just for passion. There was no hidden agenda, no pressure to monetize or get noticed. That's when it clicked. This system wants us all to be the same. It tricks us into believing that if nobody sees our art, it has no value. So we keep producing content just to get something in return, and we forget the most important part, the freedom of creating. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying to throw social media out of the window, but I also refuse to let it define me. So, you know what? I'm starting my own indie website with my own graphic, my own vibe, my own little world. No pressure, no expectation, just because I enjoy it. The old, slow, authentic way. Because the truth is, each of us deserves a space that's personal, unique, and impossible to replicate. I want to dive deeper into this topic in another video, but today I just gave you a little taste. What I dream of is a colorful revolution, a return to uniqueness. Social media feels so sterile. Every profile looks the same, every template is just a copy of the other. And that's fine, they can stay like that. But what we really need are living alternatives, smaller communities, real connections, places where creativity breathes again. Because here's the truth, social platforms are built on mass approval, and the more we fit into that, the emptier we become. It devalues the art we create with love, pushing it farther and farther down the feed until it feels like it expires as quickly as a carton of milk. Is that really what your art is? Something disposable with an expiration date? I disagree. And you?
I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't get along with anybody, honestly. I've been living in my own head constantly, thoughts jumbled around, think I need a new lobotomy. Wait, all these thoughts are too negative, I don't wanna get lost in the sedative. Gotta